Today, I'm going to jump back into the conspiracy book, A Chronological Journey Through Secret Societies and Hidden Histories by John Michael Greer, presented by Roby One, other known as Mobile Robo. Today, we're going to do the Rosicrucians. The story's based on a fraternity that created this as a joke, and then it took. But the picture's interesting. What's that say? Orion's. Looks like some kind of Arabic with a question mark. I know that Noah's Ark is up there on the mountain. There's the Rosicrucian symbol. We see them are like the little studs on the plaques that you see at memorials that I show people in my graveyard videos. The printing press was the internet of the early modern Europe, and the torrent of books, pamphlets, and broadsheets that poured from print shops all over Europe had at least as a dramatic an impact on the culture of the time as websites and online forums have today. Thus, it's not surprising that one of the most enduring themes in the entire history of conspiracies came out of the pamphlet published by a small German press in 1614. Its title was Fama Fraternitatis, Latin for news of the fraternity, and it announced the existence of a secret society called the Fraternity of the Rose Cross. According to the Fama, the fraternity had been founded in the 15th century by a mysterious sage named C.R.C., and knew all the secrets of mysticism, alchemy, and healing. Its members moved silently through society, pledged to heal the sick free of charge, and met at a secret college somewhere in Germany where the tomb of C.R.C. was located. The Fama inspired many attempts to find the fraternity and also attracted denunciations from religious authorities. Two more publications, The Confession of the Fraternity and The Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosicrucians, rose more interest. For a while, the Rosicrucians, as members of the fellowship came to be called, were a hot topic in European popular culture. It's ironic that the evidence suggests that the Fama was an elaborate practical joke cooked up by a circle of college students in the University of Tübingen, and had no idea they were about to launch one of the great themes in history of secret societies. No doubt they would have been stunned to learn that the several competing organizations also claiming to be the genuine original Rosicrucians are still active today. See also the Golden and Rosy Cross, 1755. A satirical rendering of the Collegium Fraternitas by Theophilus Schwarzgard, Constantine, 1618. Newly converted Rosicrucians might be dismayed or amused to learn that a group of college kids from Tübingen, Germany, in 1614 may have cooked up the Fama Fraternitas, the Rosicrucian Manifesto, as a practical joke. Interesting origin. Rituals of Brothering. All right, so this one's interesting too. This is in 1639. Nowhere in Europe did the religious struggles of the 16th and 17th centuries have a more drastic social impact than in Scotland, where the colorful Catholicism of the Middle Ages was swept away by the puritanical Calvinist faith. Many traditional Scots customs were prohibited in the years that followed, and one of the old customs was brothering. Traditionally, new servants hired into the household and new apprentices taken on by a master went through a brothering ceremony to welcome them into their new place. Customs varied in place and profession, but generally involved pranks and horseplay, generally ending with the newcomer becoming made to shake the devil's hand, the hand in question being an object covered in thick hair and having his head washed by having water and whiskey poured over it. The ceremony ended with a round of drinks for all, paid by the newcomer. All this was anathema to the Dore Calvinists who ruled Scotland in the 17th century, and so laws were promptly passed outlawing the custom. In 1639, in one of the first records of brothering, the Scottish Privy Council issued an edict prohibiting brothering among servants on account of the drinking riot and excess involved. Similar regulations were issued repeatedly during the 17th and 18th century with little effect. The rituals of brothering, raucous and informal as they were, ended up having a major impact once the golden age of secret societies began. Among the craft and the practice, such rituals of initiations were stonemasons. In the years following the Privy Council's edict, that guild would begin in fateful transformation into Freemasonry. See also the Regis Manuscript, 1390, the Shaw Stats. The stonemasons would eventually absorb initiation rituals inspired by the traditional Scot customs, such as brothering, which involved pranks like the one pictured here in the humorous illustration of the direction of servants, a satirical essay by Jonathan Swift, 1667 to 1745, published after his death. Servants are literally pulling the chairs out from under the master and his guests. Funny. Man, it goes back that far. That's like the early hazing. Alright, so who's this cat now? Is that Napoleon here? Not Napoleon, Isaac Newton. Elias Ashmole becomes a Freemason. What year is this one? 1646. The end of the English Civil War in 1646 left Elias Ashmole, 1617 to 1692, at loose ends, a scholar and astrologer, and had joined the Royalist side when parliamentary armies threatened Oxford and served the distinction of the army during the war's endgame as the Royalists caused collapse and King Charles I, 1600 to 49, became a prisoner of Parliament. Once the fighting ended and the Royalist army was disbanded, Ashmole went to stay with relatives in Cheshire and tried to figure out what to do with his life. In the autumn of that year, though, an unexpected opportunity appeared. An ancient guild of stonemasons, he learned, had begun to open its door to accepted members, men of good character who were not employed in the building trades but were interested in symbolism and ritual and willing to accept the social and charitable obligations of brothers in the guild. Ashmole eagerly applied for admission, and on October 12, 1646, he and his brother-in-law, Henry Manwaring, 1587 to 1653, became the first two accepted Freemasons in England. That initiation turned into the immense importance of our history of Masonry. In 1660, Charles' son returned from exile to become England's king. The new King Charles II, 1630 to 1685, rewarded Ashmole's loyalty to the Royalist cause by supporting him financially and helping to promote his scholarly works. Ashmole had remained an active Freemason ever since that October evening, and his rise to prominence and royal favor brought extensive publicity to the craft. In the decades after 1660, as a result, Freemasonry completed its transformation from a medieval stoneworkers guild to an initiatory organization that attracted men of many different classes and backgrounds. See also the Shaw Statutes, 1598, the first Masonic Grand Lodge, 1717, which involves Sir Francis Bacon. A late 17th century painting of Elias Ashmole by John Riley. Ashmole was one of the first to apply and be admitted to the Freemasons in England. His initiation was significant on a number of levels. Perhaps the most important was that it signed the transition of Freemasonry from a medieval stonemasons guild to an organization that drew constituents from diverse social classes. Interesting. It's a cool book. There you go. Elias Ashmole. As the secret society knowledge interest continues. Roll we want, I'm out.